up, beautiful people? This is Blue Nola. I am back in the building to do a energy check around Tory Lanez, right? He just released some new music. He sounds like he's doing well, even though he's in his situation. And the one thing he mentioned is that he will be out soon. And I know a lot of his fans are super excited about those words, right? I'll be home soon. He did a petition. And this petition was to include the driver's information, Quan, about what he witnessed that night. All right. So we have a playlist for Tory Lanez as it relates to the Meg Thee Stallion case. And now he's, of course, filing his official appeal to include Quan's statement. And in Quan's statement, he's saying that pretty much that Tory was trying to take the gun from Kelsey, but he didn't see who shot Meg Thee Stallion. All right? This is what he's saying. That Meg and Kelsey were arguing, that he tried to take the gun from Kelsey, and that Kelsey, he doesn't know what happened. All right? There was also a statement made that Quan wasn't allowed to testify, but the state is saying that Tory Lanez knew how his driver would testify, but chose not to call him. So Tory Lanez's attorney at the time, I think his name is Megdison, he decided not to call the driver to testify at that time. And then when the driver was presented, based on my recollection, and I don't know if it's verbatim, the prosecutors wanted more time to speak with Quan and asked, hey, we can talk to him, certainly, but we want to do it after the holidays. Tory's lawyer, Megdison, made the decision not to do that in fear of a mistrial. And therefore, Quan's actual testimony never was entered into it. Tory's team, his legal team, is now saying that they wanted to include Quan's statement. Quan, again, is saying that he saw Meg and Kelsey fighting, and that Tory intervened, and, and with the gun situation, but he didn't see who shot the gun. All right. Here it says, state says Tory Lanez knew how his driver would testify, but chose not to call him. The Attorney General's office has responded to the rapper's habeas petition alleging his driver's statements are new in the shooting of Meg Thee Stallion. Rapper Daystar Peterson knew how his driver would testify for the trial for shooting Meg Thee Stallion and chose not to call him as a witness after his lawyer told the judge his testimony was not needed. So Tory's lawyer told the judge that his testimony, Quan's testimony, was not needed. I think they felt confident that this would fall on to Kelsey. And this is why his lawyer didn't do this. In a new filing, the California Attorney General's office cites previously undisclosed statements from Lanez's trial lawyer, George Megdison, when arguing Jaquan Smith's statement about seeing Meg Thee Stallion's friend Kelsey holding the gun doesn't qualify as new evidence. The filing response to the habeas petition from Lanez's appellate lawyer filed in December said it was unknown until this time that Smith had witnessed, and that he had stated that in the July 2020, this has been a long time ago, shooting. The transcripts of Megdison's statements show that isn't true, according to the 38-page brief done by Attorney General Michael Keller. They said defense counsel acknowledged that he had spoken with Smith regarding his observations and determined that Smith would not be helpful witness, Keller wrote. Smith also said he didn't see who fired the gun, so he does not directly contradict Pete's statement that Lanez was the person who shot her, Keller wrote, referring to Megan's legal name, Megan Pete. Keller's brief calls the evidence of Lanez's guilt compelling and says Megan's testimony that he shot her supported by a wealth of other information, including Harris's identifying him as the gunman in text sent moments after the shooting, and a recorded interview with prosecutors before the trial. Although Harris failed to confirm the identification at trial, she remained consistent with her response in denial of being the shooter, Keller wrote. Moreover, within minutes of the shooting, Responding police officers found a gun used to commit this under the front passenger seat where Tory Lanez had been seated when the SUV was stopped by the police. Lanez also implicated himself as the shooter twice in a recorded admission made within 24 hours of the shooting. Keller wrote, referring to a text he had sent Meg in a recorded call that he made to Harris from jail. He never actually said, I'm sorry for the shooting. He basically was just saying he was sorry for what happened. None of this would have happened if it weren't for me. And I did find it interesting that he was apologizing to Kelsey. Why would you be apologizing to the shooter? But that's just me. They said, filed Friday, Keller's brief is an informal response to the habeas petition Lanez appellate lawyers filed on December 12th to seek to overturn his felony convictions and to vacate his 10-year prison sentence as a part of the alleged new evidence. Keller wants California's 2nd District Court of Appeal in Los Angeles to determine the petition states that no case for relief on the first impression of the prima facie and deny it. Keller filed another brief in Monday opposing Lanez's main appeal. A 3-judge panel in the 2nd District will consider the habeas brief at the same time as the appeal, as well as the motion for relevant evidence. Lanez's lawyer filed in June to seek to have the state release statistics regarding the number of people charged. The motion also seeks information referring to charges, convictions, rates, lengths of sentences, celebrities of all races without defining celebrities. Lanez's appellate lawyer, Crystal Morgan, and an attorney with the nonprofit services organization Unite the People in Long Beach, California, and Jose Maez, prominent Florida criminal defense attorney who represented Lanez during the motion for a new trial and sentencing. Morgan signed a petition which Keller's response saying the state fails to state the initial case of relief and argues issues should have been appealed through the appeal system. Let's get into the energy around Tory Lanez. Will he win his appeal? Will his sentence be vacated for the shooting of Meg Thee Stallion? I feel like my eyes got blurry. I'm just reading through it as I shuffle so I can get good energy around it. Will Tory Lanez win his appeal? Will Tory Lanez's appeal be denied? Will his sentence be vacated? Give me the energy around Tory Lanez. Okay. I definitely feel like the 3-panel judge will hear his case. It shows it here and here. This is showing me a failure. This is showing me a rejection. This is showing me a misalignment. This is showing me a lack of planning. This is showing me basically an imbalance. This is showing me a lost opportunity. This is what it's showing me. Okay? Now, this is not set in stone. This is for entertainment purposes only. Legal cases are very unpredictable. But right now, as I see it, it shows a failure. These two actually mean the same thing or similar meanings. And this talks about a situation where a lost opportunity, a lack of planning and foresight, fear of the unknown, lack of planning. They both kind of mean the same thing. But when you see the Ace of Pentacles, that represents a mischance, a bad investment. The Two of Wands also could represent, bad planning. I think in the, like Quan not being able to say, like, first of all, saying that you didn't have a chance when you had a chance, and then the defense decided not to give you the chance. I think that's the wrong statement to make. I think, he should have probably come from the perspective of, I wanted to testify. I really wasn't given a chance. I feel like Tory wasn't given due process because I wasn't allowed, versus trying to say like they basically just, like the way he made it seem like the state didn't want him to do it because of the holidays. Tory's lawyer didn't want you to do it. To say you didn't know what happened, like it just opens up a lot of room. So for example, I could see like if Quan were to say he saw something, then it would be a situation where they would now like have the opportunity to push him a little harder, and then that's when his story might get a little bit contradictory. I do see where the way this is kind of coming out for me, it makes you feel like, and Quan is going to stick to the fact that Kelsey did it in that Queen of Pentacles. He's gonna stick to the story that Kelsey was the one with the gun. I can see where Tory may not do his full time. Like, hey, he does have a release aspect here, releasing or forgiveness. He does have something here. Maybe they'll be able to look at the last part of this one where it talks about looking at people with the same crime and same amount of, same celebrities and all. Maybe that'll be able to play a part of him getting some, maybe a little reduction. It just shows in the messages for Tory Lanez at this time, like it feels like it'll be heard, but it feels like it'll be met with opposition. It could be 2 out of the 3. It could be 3 out of the 3. I see 2 people opposing it. Okay? It keeps coming up with the number 2 here, the number 2 here, the 2 here. It could be 3 of them, but it's just saying it may be like 2 out of the 3 oppose it. Something about being opposed. So, this is what I have on. I want to do a quick pull on, what's that girl named Kelsey? What the hell? Why won't you just keep it real, girl? Like, why you needed limited immunity? Why are you over here trying to act like, what's going on? Why is Kelsey not telling, just keeping it 100%? She always talking about, we about to see, we about to find out, we about to discover. But we never see anything. All right, so I'm going to do this quick pull on Kelsey Nicole. And why is this woman 4 years later talking about we shall see, right? We're seeking limited immunity. Initially told the prosecutors that Tory did it. Changed the story when they went to trial. Requested limited immunity. But standing on the fact that she never did it, and Meg is backing her up saying she didn't do it. But what is going on with Kelsey Nicole as it relates to Tory Lanez? What is going on with this woman? And will she ever just finally say anything about it? Like, defend herself? When you look at Kelsey's cards, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to say this again. I don't care what Kelsey talking about. Chelsea, Kelsey, whatever your damn name is. I feel like you took a payment, and this is your biggest issue, right? I definitely feel like something was offered. It's something that you don't want to... the reason for the limited immunity is some kind of financial reward. Because when you look at her 4 of Pentacles, her 9 of Pentacles, her 7 of Pentacles, and even her 10 of Pentacles... To me, that's like saying you got something from this situation, right? Why else would you sit here and let this be your narrative, right? You have a child to raise. Tory Lanez is not somebody you were in a deep, profound relationship with. This was not the love of your life. Yes, he was a man that you were dealing with. Like, there's no way. I feel also, too, she feels like the truth will be revealed without her having to reveal it. She has the card of justice here. And she just feels like none of it points to her. All of it points to him. I'm not talking about the court of public opinion. I'm talking about the actual justice system. But when you look at her messages here, this represents somebody who actually could have possibly potentially received some type of resource, right? And then this resource, right? This resource shows up as someone who was able to use that resource in whatever capacity they use it for, whatever business they want to use it for. All money ain't good money. All deals ain't good deals. Whether it was him financially giving you something physically, or something that he just invested. You know, sometimes people will just invest something on behalf of another person. But there's just too much money here. 10 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles, even the 9 of Pentacles here. This is almost like saying you took something that wasn't in good faith. This message represents deceit and bad faith and deception. It is something that you've done. And then also, too, in your star card, they're like saying, eventually, I'm going to tell you this, that like, ever since you have not been speaking up truthfully about what's happened in your life, you will continue to see your life have karmic moments. It may feel beautiful and rosy right now, and they're rosy, beautiful moments. But I watched her interview she did on YouTube, and I will say that she has a lot of karmic energy around her, and she will continue to experience that. Justice is a karmic aspect too. But I really feel like she feels that the evidence against him is so strong. You got to remember, she said he did it initially. Meg said he did it, right? Even though the old man eventually, who said there were like a lot of lights by her, but Tory was shooting everywhere, he said he did it. The gun was found under Tory's feet when the car was actually stopped. So for her, she's looking at it like, I don't feel she will say something unless she's really pushed to say it. Say, for example, the first part of this reading where I said, it looks like there's a panel that may decide not to go forward. She's banking on the justice system seeing it for what it is and seeing the holes in his story. He's banking on reasonable doubt, right? This is why. The thing about Kelsey is so stupid. Just because Tory hasn't physically said out of his mouth to the public you didn't do it, that you did it, she's still like, to me, it's like, how you want to say it? Quan said you had the gun. The old man said there were lights coming from your way. It puts her in it gives reasonable doubt around the situation. Tory hasn't officially out of his own mouth said she had that gun. And that's what she keeps living on. But what if he decides to just change that story one day and say, yeah, I actually saw her with the gun and I took her for, because Quan is saying that. He's not saying it. He hasn't said it. The only thing I remember him saying is when somebody got in the shade room chat and said that she did it, he said she did not. But I think that Kelsey is just banking on the legal system, the law, to do whatever it does to see the holes in his story. And if as long as she's not pulled into it legally, then she's not going to say anything. The problem is, it's not about it being a legal thing. It's legal, but it's also about your integrity. It's about you as a person. One thing we have, the only thing we have in this world when we die, we don't have money. We don't have all the things we buy in terms of luxury. We have our name, what we did, who we are, our legacy that we left behind. And hers is, quite frankly, quite tainted. And her legacy will go down in a very tainted way. And it's a shame because she's not looking at it from that perspective. She has a son that has to be in this world and grow up and be a man. And you got your mom out here looking like a damn clown and a fool. So I say this to say it looks like some financial gain, and it feels like something that she could get legally in trouble with. To say that she took something or was given something, or maybe something was invested in her in some way. I know she likes to say she didn't, but she got too much of it going on here. Also, too, again, she's dependent on the legal system to see holes in his story. And as long as there are holes in his story and it doesn't point directly to her, she feels like she's fine. But sometimes it's not always about it's not always about that. It's about your integrity. It's about your morals and your values as a person. And you look like, quite frankly, like a bump. I will say this. She does have in her messages down the road. I feel in my spirit, and even here as I'm doing this, I feel one day she's going to speak on it. This talks about a breakthrough. It talks about speaking her mind. And it talks about eventually just saying what she needs to say about it. And actually just like literally speaking on it. That's what it talks about. But at the end of the day, I see this situation for Tory being a situation where he's still in a struggle. He still has restrictions on him. This is what is showing in the messages. Quan, give me the energy around Quan. Did he actually see who shot the gun? When you look at his story, and you put yourself in his position, and you're outside and you see something happen, even if you turned your head away for a second when you heard the shots, that most people naturally are going to look to see who's where once it's all said and done. Is Meg okay? Is Tory okay? I'm supposed to be protecting him. Like, who's where? What's going on? Like, right? Give me the energy around Quan. Does he know who shot that gun? He's saying he didn't see it. Give me the energy. Does he have knowledge, or did he turn his head? Did he not see it for real, Spirit? Give me the energy around the driver, Quan. Did he see who shot Meg Thee Stallion? He did. He saw it. So he has in his messages, the Ten of Swords here is about somebody. This is about a situation that just escalated, right? Something that happened to somebody. Something that went crazy. This also represents recognition. Now, this can represent in reverse energy. It represents recognition. It does represent recognition. This also represents seeing something and being deceptive about it, right? He has the Knight of Cups and the next message here. This represents communication, seeing something. He also has the message here around the Hangman, and this Hangman is also here, and this represents also too, like kind of like trying to reverse it, right? Give me the inner, and then I don't know what is Tory Lanez sign, because this person is falling in water placements. Let me see what Tory Lanez sign is. There's a male attached to this, but let me make sure. Tory Lanez. Let me see what his sign is. Okay. Canadian singer. Okay, let's look at his Wikipedia. July 27. Now, that would make him technically a Leo. But he probably could have some Cancer places. He's falling that the man that was coming through, I don't know what Quan sign is, has water placements, because the message pertained to a male here. This could be a person has water placements. But let's ask the question again. Who did Quan see with the gun? Ace of Cups. King of Swords. Knight of Cups. Smell energy. Keep going. King of Cups in reverse. Nine of Cups. King of Wands. King of Wands is a person with fire placements. Last but not least, Hierophant. So the person who was yielding and wielding the weapon is a male. Okay. All of it shows, and you can use it as one for men and women, but as you can see, most of these messages are tied to the King of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Wands, all male energies. The King of Wands specifically is somebody who has, you know, some fire placements in their chart, right? Fire could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy here. He's falling July 27, which would make him a Leo, but this fire is actually here. There's also some water placements in here as well, and this water could represent, you know, a little bit of how you want to say Scorpio energy. And then you also have here this message here that could bring you into some Taurus energy, but when you look at it, it's just resonating with male energy. The person who shows up with the bad behavior, you see this Hierophant. This Hierophant represents the abusive one, the rebellious one, the guilty one, and this is all showing up in male energy. Also too, this represents somebody who does not have good intentions, bad intentions, right? Etc. etc. At the end of the day, let's say Kelsey really did. He and Kelsey, she had the gun, he had the gun, they struggle. Who actually shot Meg Thee Stallion? That's the bottom line, right? I could pick up something, you could pick up something. Who actually did it? That is the question. That's the whole thing. Quan saying she had it, but then Tory struggled with it, which puts it in his possession too. But I don't know who did it. You know, that doesn't help anybody. All right. Long term, his vision is affected. Disappointment and escapism. Being naive. Okay, but this is the end of the road for me. Confirm the messages around Tory Lanez appeal one more time, Spirit. That girl is totally just dependent on the law to do its thing, to see the holes, to look at the facts, where everybody was positioned. That's what she's looking at. And it talks about he gets a restriction. Now, I can see like the status quo. I can see them looking at like his time compared to other people's time and looking at that. I can see that, but he has a message of restriction again. Okay? Not set in stone for entertainment purposes only. This is your girl, Nola. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I know they have a lot of Tory Lanez fans out there. You know, and I sympathize with you guys because I know how you feel about him. But at the end of the day, you know, hopefully, you know, I almost wish sometimes that this would go through a retrial or an appeal phase, and everybody would speak, you know, like that Kelsey wouldn't be given immunity. Nobody, you know, but it's hard to do that, you know, to force people to speak and not plead the fifth. I think she has some dirt on her hands in terms of like, well, her actions thereafter, after the incident happened. And this is one of the reasons why she'll look worse. But you look worse now, right? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care, and thank you so much. We can do one on Meg Thee Stallion another day in terms of like what she's thinking or feeling. I really feel like Meg Thee Stallion just is kind of similar to Kelsey, like let the law deal with them. Take care. Bye-bye.